Hey everybody, welcome back to Learning Fusion 360 with me, Mr. Redmond. I'm going to show you today how to do a technical drawing from our part file that we have created. You have already imported the template. You only have to do that once. And for the rest of the year, we're going to then add parts to that same template to show off what we have created. This is a bracket that I made, and I want to now take this bracket and make a technical drawing with it. It's fairly straightforward to do, though it seems it could take a little bit of time to load the drawing file in once we've chosen to do it. So to do a drawing from a part that's open, so this I've opened up my bracket widget that I made, and I'm going to create a drawing. So I'm going to go up here to the design uh, workspace, and I'm going to now change to the drawing workspace. So from design, I'm going to make a drawing. And over here, it is going to ask us a few questions about how we want to proceed. Do we want the full assembly, or do we want the what's only visible or what's selected? Right now we want to do the full assembly, even though it's not an assembly, it's just a part. We're going to create a new file, new drawing, and the template we're going to use is not from scratch, but the Bowie drawing template that you just downloaded. It should show up right here. So I'm going to click on that. No other options are available, they go away. So I'm going to click on OK, and it should load in the drawing. And this is what might take you a few moments. Okay, here we are. So now that the drawing has loaded, you'll see that there is a view that is now attached to your cursor, because you have to place your views down in a similar way that you made your drawings earlier by hand. This is the front view. It tells you right here that it is the front view. It is a 1:2 scale. So this means this is half the size of what I've just created, or maybe twice the size. I think it's twice the size. And I'm going to place it right here. The front view is going to go right there. And you'll see that once I click down, it will turn into lines instead of being shaded. At least it should. It seems kind of frozen at the moment. There it goes. I had to click OK. So now we have this one view, but that's not really going to be sufficient. We need the rest of the views as well. So I'm going to click on this button here that says Projected View. I'm going to click on our front view there. And if I move my mouse up, it'll show me I can create my other views. And they are in the different orientations. As I move around, you see they pop around like that. So I should have put the front view up here, and I can still change that. So I'm going to do a top view here, and I'm going to do a side view here. I'm going to do, and then an ISO here. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to hit escape to make them all change, and I'm going to move them around to where I like better. I'm going to move this one up here. Leave that one there. I'm going to move the ISO. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to move the ISO view right here. It doesn't want to do this natively for some reason, depending on the part, but this is the orientation that your drawing should be. Front here, side here, top here, and the ISO view right here. At the moment, they are all showing hidden lines, and they are all outlines and not shaded. The isometric view should be shaded. So I'm going to click on this and actually double click, and some options pop up on the right. The option I want to choose for the ISO view is to shade it right here. Cool. If you were to change the colors of this part, which you can do, you will see the colored version here. Right now it's just gray, so it's going to show up gray. But in the future, if you make different parts different colors, the different colors will show up right here. There's some other options when it comes to edges and hidden lines. You can turn off hidden lines if you want. Right now they're off. This is shaded with hidden lines. You can also change the scale of the ISO if you wanted to, but I don't at the moment. So I'm going to close this, and now I'm ready to add my dimensions. Dimensions are right here. Now, you already put in a bunch of dimensions when you were making the part, but not all of them are relevant all of the time. Here, you're going to show all of the most relevant dimensions, and the rules of dimensioning still apply like they did earlier when you were making them by hand. You want to keep them sort of on the inside, and you want to stair step dimensions instead of stacking them vertically. And this is going to take a little bit of practice because, as you can see, there are a lot of different types of dimensions that you can do here. Radii and diameters, various angles and such. And most of the time, it will do them automatically. It knows what you're trying to dimension, and it will choose it automatically. But every now and again, it's not the case. For instance, right here, we have a radius. So we want to, remember, put these at an angle and not dead on. So this radius will be right there. We also have a whole diameter here. We could choose to do this one here or this one here. It might be a little confusing if we do it here, but we'll do it anyway. Why is that changing? It shouldn't be. So I'm going to do click diameter dimension right here. There. Now that's not changing. You see the diameter symbol is right there. If I want to do linear dimensions, like the height of this piece, I can click here and here, just like you did before. And you can see that it is 45 millimeters tall. And you can do this one. A lot of dimensions. So right here, you can see that it would be hard to do the linear dimension on this side, the full length. So I'm going to do it here instead. And you can practice this a little bit and understand why that's going to be hard. I'm going to do this one here, and then this one. And you see how we're just trying to stack them to make in such a way to make them look as neat as possible. And if one gets placed in a funny way, you can always click on it and drag it. Uh-oh, that's not what I want. Drag it and move it around some more to neaten it up. There's a few other dimensions here that we should add. We need this radius there, or the diameter rather. And I actually don't like that placement, so I might move it down here because I kind of want to get this angle right here. And this is one that can be a little bit tricky. Getting angular dimensions can be hard. They are a bit picky. You can, again, zoom in like you would. It's a part. So I want that and this. And you can see I can get that angle there, which isn't exactly the angle I want. This one works. I like that. That is something that will take a little bit of practice and fiddling around to get that, how to get those angular dimensions proper. And that's kind of about it, it looks like. Remember, you do not dimension the ISO unless you absolutely have to. Should be a department thing right here. Sometimes you can click on this and edit the title block, but in this case, it should say the Louis Engineering Department right here, and it will on your template. Okay. When you are ready, when you have finished dimensioning everything, you can export this. Where did export's not there? You can save this file as a drawing, and there will be a way to export them as a PDF. It appears to be grayed out at the moment. And I'll tell you about that in class when I learn it. Okay. That's how you make a drawing, class. This is how you will be turning in most documents for the rest of the year.